in the quiet hours of the morning, or in the soft darkness of night. Many of us feel the same familiar weight: fear, worry, and the constant pressure of time slipping away. 2,000 years ago, a Roman philosopher named Seneca felt these same things. Despite living through political chaos, illness, betrayal, and uncertainty, he left behind a message that still calms the modern heart. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Today, we will walk with Seneca, not as a famous thinker or a distant historical figure, but as a human being, trying, like all of us, to live with courage and clarity. Take a breath. Let your shoulders soften, and let us step gently into his world. Part 1. The Weight of Imagined Fears. Seneca wrote many of his letters to a friend named Lucilius. They were not grand speeches or political declarations. They were simple conversations, honest, warm, and deeply human. In one letter, Seneca begins with a confession. "My dear Lucilius, I have been worrying again." Even a Stoic philosopher, famous for calm and discipline, felt fear. But then he continues, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." He explains that the human mind often runs far ahead of life itself. We imagine disaster before anything has happened. We rehearse worst-case scenarios as if they were facts. We create storms that never arrive. Seneca understood that fear is not just a feeling, it is a shadow that grows the more we look at it. But shadows disappear in the presence of light. And for Seneca, that light is reason, clarity, and returning to reality. Ask yourself, he wrote, is this fear real? Has it already happened? Or is it only in my mind? When we separate fact from imagination, the fear slowly loses its power. Part 2. Fear versus reality. To Seneca, fear becomes dangerous when it becomes a habit. We wake up with fear. We carry it to work. We take it to bed. So he taught a simple practice. Return to this moment. Return to what is true. Often, what is real is manageable. A conversation, a decision, a task, a step forward. What is imagined is limitless, and therefore overwhelming. Seneca reminds us that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is seeing fear clearly and choosing not to obey it. He wrote, "If you cannot control the situation, control your mind." The mind is the one place where freedom always remains. Even in chaos, we can choose clarity. Even in uncertainty, we can choose steadiness. Part 3. The value of time. Of all his teachings, the one Seneca cared most deeply about was time. In his book, On the Shortness of Life, he wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." These words are gentle, not judgmental. He is not scolding us for being busy, or tired, or distracted. He is reminding us that time is the one resource we never get back. People guard their money. They protect their property. But time, we give it away thoughtlessly, to worry, to trivial arguments, to the expectations of others, to endless distractions. Seneca invites us to reclaim our time by asking a simple question. Is this moment worthy of my life? And if the answer is no, we have permission to step away. Time is precious, not because life is short, but because life is meaningful. Part 4. A steady heart in an uncertain world. Seneca lived in a world that was unstable, violent, and full of political danger. And yet, he wrote again and again about inner steadiness. No person is free who is not master of themselves. Self-mastery, to Seneca, is not strict discipline or punishing control. It is gentler than that. It is the quiet ability to stay centered when the world pushes and pulls. It is the choice to respond instead of react, to breathe before speaking, to pause before worrying, to see reality instead of imagination. A steady heart is not a heart without emotion. It is a heart that knows where home is, even when fear rises, even when time feels rushed, even when life becomes uncertain. The home we return to is our inner clarity, a light for difficult days. Seneca never claimed that life is easy. He never pretended that suffering is simple. He lived through sickness, politics, loss, and disappointment. But through it all, he left us a gift, a way of seeing life that turns fear into understanding and time into something sacred, a way of living that replaces overwhelm with steadiness. Tonight, or in the early morning quiet, let his words settle into your heart. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. And also, life is long if you know how to use it. May these ancient words bring you calm today. May they steady your breath. May they remind you that the present moment is a place of safety, clarity, and quiet courage. Thank you for listening. May today be gentle on your heart.